Hello, I'm Dawn Campbell, one of the volunteer management team of the International Authority for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. And today I have the very glamorous Charuni with me. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your surname, Charuni. In Sri Lanka, I'm going to let you introduce yourself if you would, please.
Thank you, Dawn. Actually, I'm Charuni. I'm a medical professional by profession, and then I'm a master coach and a master mentor with IAPCNM. I'm also the director of International Academy of Mentoring and Coaching Asia, or IAMCasia as the acronym stands for. So lovely to be here with you, Dawn, and thank you very much for this initiative. Really
You're
appreciate
very
it.
welcome. You're very welcome. Now, I know it's very hot for you, even though it's 8:30 in the evening. So if
Yes.
anybody can hear the whirring of the aircon, Charuni definitely needs it, because I asked her to turn it off earlier and she was sweltering. So we'll crack on,
Yes.
and hopefully it will be a good
Yeah.
recording. So what we want to do is hear you describe your journey from where you were as a professional doctor to how you got into the coaching world and became an entrepreneur and set up your own training company, please.
Yeah. Thank you. Actually, I'm a scholarship student to China, so that's where I got my medical degree. I was doing my internship during the time of when they had the SARS outbreak, which hit China and killed thousands of people.
Yeah.
And that really quite got me interested into this public health.
Okay.
Had I been in Sri Lanka, maybe as a doctor, I would never have thought of doing public health, because sometimes we have this norm that public health is for nurses or midwives from where I come from. But when I saw that the impact that time on people's lives, how and this disease can cause that kind of impact on people's lives, and how public health was so important during that time. Naturally, I was very interested in that. So I was lucky to get a scholarship to go to UK and study my master's of public health with the University of Nottingham. So that's how I started my whole journey, I think, because public health kind of gave me this option of choosing a lot of sides that otherwise I would not have been able to do. So starting from there, I managed to work for World Health Organization for nearly 10 years. So after that, I was looking for something. I felt that I needed a change in my life. So I was naturally looking for an avenue that I might be more interested in, and that's how I got into this coaching. Suddenly it was there one day on my computer. I couldn't get it out of my head, and I kept on like looking at it. What is this? Why is it coming to me so many times? And that's how I got really interested, and I went to UK to study this a little bit more to see if that's for me. And I've actually done that. Was like kind of, I think, probably the biggest dream of my life. When I studied that, I knew that I had a certain skill that I didn't know I possessed before. And I saw as I started to use it in my, even in the workplace that I was working with in WHO and outside that, among the friends, relatives, I saw the massive impact that it can have on individuals' lives. Yeah. So naturally, I thought this is for me, and I wanted to, pursue a career in that. So I worked hard to get to where I am today, and to have moved. It also gave me a good option, because to come back to Sri Lanka and introduce something to my motherland, that was very important to me, because I was in a time in my life where that I wanted to give back to my motherland. So I thought coming back with all the years of experience and starting something new and giving something back to my country was one of the good things that I always wanted to do. And I thought through coaching I can do. So here, turn back years, and then as I worked for nearly 10 years in WHO, and I moved to Sri Lanka. It's been 2 years, and we've started the International Academy for Mentoring and Coaching Asia, or IAMC, as IAMCasia stands for. And yeah, it hasn't been an easy journey, I must admit, Dawn. In this part of the world, it, it was it was new. So it's not about just, like we had to do a lot of awareness raising, for people to understand what this is all about, and the benefits it can bring to you as individuals, as corporates. Yeah, but I think slowly, looking back over the past 2 years journey, I think, yes, it probably wouldn't have reached to where I would have liked to, but I'm sure that I've certainly made an impact in this in within the coaching industry in Sri Lanka. So we've had corporate trainings, and I've been lucky to hold. I'm honored actually to share with you that we, as IAMCasia, is the only accredited training provider of coaches and mentors available in Sri Lanka now. All the other coach trainings come from abroad and, like offered here, but here we have Sri Lankans offering this for other Sri Lankans at a lower cost. And also, apart from that, we have a variety of other services that IAMCasia is offering. So, yeah.
So it's true what they say. It's something good always comes out of something bad. So the SARS experience really opened up a whole new world to you, and obviously the opportunity to go to the UK and train as a coach and find something that inside was quite vocational for you. So so that was the catalyst, but who, if there was somebody in particular, inspired you to open up your own training company?
I think I mean, all credit should actually go to IAPCNM and no one else, because I have had interactions with many people within this organization, from Barbara to Jennifer to Dawn to David. They've been lovely, and Dawn yourself has been an inspiring person in my life and in this journey of past 2 years. I've got massively been mentored by these individuals who've come to my life at different points. And yeah, and I really thank them as individuals, and thank IAPCNM for the support they have offered to people like us, who wanted to have a career path in coaching and mentoring.
Well, we were certainly very excited to have a branch of an accredited body in Sri Lanka. So it's a win-win situation as far as we're concerned. And you say that coaching and mentoring is fairly new, and it's tough for any new entrepreneur. And certainly I've interviewed a lot of training providers and talked about, when the going gets tough, what do you do? How do you stay motivated? We're at the start of a new year and you've got to do it all again. What would be your advice to somebody who is perhaps a couple of years behind where you are right now, who aspires to doing the good work that you're doing? What would you say to them?
I think throughout all these ups and downs I've had as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a director of a company which are offering all these coaching and mentoring trainings, the only thing that kept me going through all these rough patches was that the impact, the ultimate impact this coaching or mentoring will have on an individual. And that I think I'm honored to have had already 4 batches of small batches, not big batches, but I have seen the turnaround of those individuals personally and professionally, following, like studying coaching and mentoring, and becoming a coach or a mentor, not only for themselves, but also to the people around them. So no matter how hard my journey has been throughout the past few years, that gives me that extra courage, that motivation to keep going,
Yes,
knowing that I am being part of something big. It's not just, very few things like that, but I think, yes.
So not focusing on the numbers. It doesn't have to be a big group.
No.
Even if it's only one person, 10 people, you're touching people's lives, and that sort of cascades out to their family, friends, and colleagues. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've heard that a lot.
And I think most of our batches were very few. Maybe it could have been 6 to 8, sometimes maximum would have probably was 10. So yeah, I think we've taken that journey, we've grown along with them. So I think, yeah, I'm very happy looking back at that and never giving up.
And of course, they would say it was a benefit to them to have such individual attention. You might have wanted a bigger class or had the resources to give a bigger class, but having been in a small class, you get more individual attention. So, you know, you've got extra happy student delegates because of that. You know, they've come on faster because it wasn't such a big group. So it's win-win all round, really.
Absolutely, yes. And because from last year onwards, Dawn, we also introduced an individualized project into our own coach training programs.
Yeah.
And that, I think, has turned around a lot of people's lives, because they would choose something in their lives that they're not happy about, whether it's personally or professionally, which gives them that extra, which gives them the situation to apply the coaching skills and techniques right on the spot, you know.
So they're their own case study.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And me, as one of those internal assessors of the program, of the assessments, I was very, very happy to have seen those results of turnaround. So yeah,
I would guess that's probably one of your unique selling points, that you've actually built that project into the course, so they've actually got a real live meaningful project to work on.
Absolutely. And I'd like to share with you very quickly 2 examples as such.
Yes,
one
please.
was we had one lady from UK who's moved to Sri Lanka, who was holding this very big job in the apparel sector, but she was not feeling too happy and wanted to change her career path. So she was actually in that transition period as she came to our course. And following up, she took this transition as her project, and then worked on that along with us during the whole training period. And today she has managed to talk with the boss and get it part-time, not the full-time, turn into a part-time job, so that she still tends to get the visa and also to have the, like, she's also the main breadwinner, and then also do life coaching and yoga and things that that she always wanted to do in her life. So she actually thanked us, and she will very quickly become an accredited practitioner coach with you all as well. Then the other one was an HR manager in a company who actually used this our coaching and mentoring skills to roll out the coaching culture in their plant, where they have lots of mechanical people who may not be as educated, but who had lots of things in manufacturing business. So, and normally their target was to get 50% of the increase in their sales to 50%, increase in their production more than 50% from the last year. And they have actually increased it to 70%. So he came and told us that once when he started to roll out some of those coaching methods and started to coach his subordinates and colleagues, the effect of it overall was considerable. And so I'm just so happy as a trainer, to be able to share these things.
Yes, of course. I mean, I've been in coaching for over 15 years, and I've always said to the student coaches, when you learn to become your own best client and practice those coaching skills on yourself, the quality of your life, the quality of your communication, everything will improve. But I've never actually heard a training provider take that the one step forward and actually make that a specific project as part of the course. So yeah, I think that's a really interesting, unique point that you've created there. So when you made the transition to being a coach and a health practitioner, and now the CEO of a training company. How did you make that transition? Because I know that a lot of people aspire to work for themselves. What would be some of the strengths and things that people would have to copy to mirror your success?
But I think from the experience, looking back again, I think not giving up. You know, when
determination is
when
key.
it's hard, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. When it is hard, not giving it up is important. And then I think knowing where you want to go and having that as like clear cut was, I think, was one of the biggest strengths I had in when I had to make that transition. I had time, you know, to do all my soul searching moments to see, and then I always had these goals linked with my value system, you know. I think that created that extra, how do I say, the strength that would drive me to get to where I want to go. And also when the hard times come, it also probably quite helped me to, you know, like see that end goal. Not see the little, you know, like hiccups that I've had, not see all those little you know, like steps that I've probably fallen down, but I always looked at the end goal, where I want to go, and that impact that it can have on, you know, the bigger crowd. I think that itself, yeah, was probably my biggest strength.
So describe what the end goal is for you then, Charuni. How would you describe it?
Yeah, my end goal actually dawned through this coaching and mentoring that we offer to Sri Lankans and to Asians to transform their lives to betterment personally and professionally. And that, I think, I have seen that happening, and that gives me enormous satisfaction that I cannot put a dollar figure to. And every night I can sleep soundly because I know the little things that I do does make a bigger impact in someone else's life, and that keeps me going.
Yeah, well, from little acorns, as we say, great oak trees. So, you know, it isn't always about the bottom line. It isn't always about the numbers or the money. It's about following your vocation and making a difference, a positive difference. So who is your target market? Who are you actually wanting to attract on your courses?
I think our target market is mainly going to be corporates,
individuals
within corporates. It could be anyone with team responsibilities. So it could be from team leaders to associates to managers or up above. So we do, from IAMCasia, we offer a 2-day upskilling coaching skills in managers. So that has been quite well received as well in corporates, so that they get a taster session as to what is coaching. And those individuals who get interested come back to us to pursue the 8-week longer course of these 60 hours, where it is called the International Certificate in Coaching and Mentoring Practice, which IAPCNM has accredited us for. And then we also further offer one-to-one individual coaching for corporates, which you know, like they need a lot of, because nowadays our lives are very stressful. We are being pulled into different directions. You know, sometimes problems in our family life can have impact on your professional lives. So it would impact your productivity, your effectivity, and, you know, and then a whole lot of the vicious circle goes on with increased stress and everything. So yeah, we can help those individuals move forward and to have that positive outlook in terms of life, and to have help them to have that balance as well. And moving forward, I think what I actually want, Dawn, is to make some of these things available, these courses available as online courses, because I know that in Asia, a lot of us a lot of people really do need these
Mhm.
services, and I want to reduce that gap of accessibility to
Mm.
these coaching and mentoring services, which Asia does have in different countries, so that they can
Yes.
reach.
Yeah, because Asia's massive. So to have it digitalized, you're going to reach a much wider audience, aren't you? Mm.
Yes, and
Okay.
to the people who are needing it as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you're still a relatively young business, going through a lot of challenges. What's been the best piece of advice somebody that you aspire to has given you so far, whether it was in a book or personally?
I think it's again coming back to look at the end goal.
Hmm.
Where does that impact of all your actions
Mm.
going to be?
So it's all about the focus, thinking about the
Absolutely.
end user.
Absolutely. And stay
Mm.
focused.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So just to find out a little bit about you, because I know when I Skype you, I can normally get you 24 hours of the day. You don't seem to be a woman that sleeps, and yet you're a young mum as well. What do you do for me time to relax and de-stress?
Well, I think playing with my own kids, they are 8 and 5, and they're two boys and who have like highest energy levels.
Mm,
So, yeah, I do tend to like spend time with them and do things that, like do things that are interesting, innovative with them.
mm,
That helps quite a bit. And also, I like to spend some time with my friends, and not going on these digital phones all the time. Of
mhm.
course, we do have these Facebook and other things, but I
Yes.
like that
Yeah.
human touch,
Yes.
that we used to enjoy with
Mm,
our friends, have a good laugh at it, something,
mm,
and just sharing about each other's lives. Yeah.
mhm. Okay. So fast forward to your legacy. How would you describe your ideal legacy? Your children have grown up, your business is successful. What will people say about Charuni and what she achieved?
I think I've always liked the Steve Jobs way of looking at things. The day that you die, what would somebody read about you? Um, so I honestly would like, and I hope that it would be something like that. Me as a person, I would like to have been known as someone who made a positive impact, a difference in another person's life. And that could be many, or it could be just 100. But I think I'd like to be known as a person who has the capacity, capability to inspire others, as well as to make a positive difference in others' lives.
Mm. Well, you're certainly demonstrating courage to the boys. You're a good role model for your boys because it takes a great deal of courage to become a solo entrepreneur. And it takes a great deal of determination, time, and energy. So you're on the right track. So if you were
Thank
on a
you.
desert island and you had to have, say, I don't know, one piece of music and one book and one luxury, what do you think it would be, Charuni?
Oh, that is. Sorry, is it one piece of book, one piece of
One book,
music?
one piece of music, and one luxury.
Oh God. Okay. The book, I wouldn't want to name it, but it would definitely be a romantic book.
Okay.
Um, because I think even though I may look like this, I'm a really a romantic person in my heart. So
Okay.
yes, definitely it'll be a romantic book. The song would be "Listen to Your Heart." And the most biggest luxury. Well, my life is very simple, Dawn, normally. Probably I'd like to have my lip balm with me. Is that
Same as me. That's my
okay?
luxury.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there we are.
Yeah, it
That's
could be
something in
coconut
common.
oil or a lip balm that I can melt in. It could be a moisturizer, do my hair, the lot. So we've got the same there. Okay, so we're
Yeah.
coming towards the end of our time together. So just very quickly describe how people can find you, and when they come on the courses, what they can expect, please.
Right. So they can actually contact me via email, which is charuni@iamcasia.com. And I think that will be shown at the end of this video.
Yep.
Well, when they come on the course, whether it's a 2-day program or the bigger, more 8-week program, well, definitely they will not be able to sleep or, like to relax, because they'll be always, either sharing things, doing practicals, or talking all the time. Because I had this one person one time in one of my courses who said, like, whenever he goes to the other courses all his life, he used to sit at the back and just, like, take notes and never spoke. And he's never spoken so much in a course other than others.
So he's found his voice.
They will be definitely, yes, and they will be they'll be so engaged, and and towards the end of the 8th week, most of them say, "Are we finished? Really?" So
so that means you've got to start developing your more advanced course then, if people don't want to finish.
Yeah, if time permits, Dawn.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they will definitely enjoy being engaged with us in whatever the courses that we offer them, because they're going to be very interactive. They're designed in a way of using all these adult learning techniques, so they're not going to be boring. And they're going to, above everything, they'll enjoy.
Good. And their quality of communication will just really improve with everybody, themselves, their colleagues, their families, everybody that they come into contact with. So that's why the course that you've just described is so engaging, because it is about finding your voice, listening and being heard and sharing. So that sounds lovely, and I'll make sure I put up some of your leaflets. And of course, people can find you on the IAPCNM directory individually as a coach to hire you, but also as a training provider if you want to go and train in somewhere exotic like Sri Lanka.
Yeah, thank you. And the weather is hot here, but
yeah, perhaps a little bit too hot for me. But I don't know. I will come and see you at some stage. I promise that will definitely happen.
And we'll invite you.
Yeah, thank you. It's been lovely meeting you and putting a face to the name and letting our audience see who you are, because as I say, people buy people. So, when they look at these videos, they're going to think, well, I like that course, and now I've met that person, that's the one for me. So it just helps them identify who they want to train with or develop their skills with. So thank you very much for your time. I know it's about 9 o'clock in the evening for you now, and I'm sure the boys want to see their mummy. So we'll say good night. Thank you for your time, and it was very lovely to get to know you better. Thank you,
very much, Dawn. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.